Very good afternoon. Welcome to Les Sables d'Olonne in France, the west coast of France. Beautiful afternoon. Once again, very, very cold mornings here, minus temperatures, but it does heat up over the course of the day. It's day 62, or Vendée Globe live, Saturday the 9th of January. Well, it's only starting to feel like there may be a finish later on this month. Things starting to ramp up a little bit here in Les Sables d'Olonne. But let's call it the home straight for sure, because there's many, many different twists and turns, even in the South Atlantic just now, where the weather situation remains very complicated. Lots of little high pressure systems around, lots of barriers on the road. Top of the fleet is still Yannick Bestaven. He is 300 miles ahead, but the two boats behind, Charlie Dallin and Thomas Rion, catching all the time, made over 100 miles back in the last 24 hours. And the next group coming into Cape Horn will be Alan Rura, Pip Hare, and in that group too also Jeremy Bayou, and the leader of that group, Alan Rura. About 650 miles to go, so we should see them coming through on Monday afternoon. Very fortunate that my guest this afternoon is Santiago Lange, the very famous Argentinian sailor. He has done 6 Olympics, has won 3 Olympic medals. He's done 2 Volvo Ocean races and 2 America's Cup, and he's at home in Argentina, and he should be about 600 miles, I think, due west of where Charlie Dallin is, where the group is. Santi, how are you?
Very good, very good. It's nice to be here. I'm really fascinated about the Vendée Globe and the sailors that managed to do it. I am very, very jealous and admire them a lot. So it's a privilege for me to be here with you.
Tell me a little bit about the weather just now, where you are, because you're in the summer.
Yes, I am in the middle of the summer in Argentina. We are training here in Buenos Aires, and today, hopefully, we drive to Uruguay and train there for a couple of days.
Now listen, Santi, I think we have Charlie Dallin with us, who's in second place on board Apivia. Charlie, how are you?
Hello, Andy. I'm good, thank you. And it's an honor to be invited with such a sailing legend.
That makes 2 of you. Listen, I think probably Santi would like to say hello. Say he's in Argentina, about 600 miles to your west at the moment.
Bonjour, Charlie. Bonjour. It's a privilege for me. I admire you guys so much, so much. I am a friend of Franco Gabard, that I know is part of your team. So I am a big fan of you through him. And yeah, happy for you that you catch up 100 miles in the last 24 hours. So keep pushing, man.
Yeah, thank you for your words. It's an honor to talk to you. Yeah, it's fortunately the conditions are good to go fast. I'm currently 23 knots of boat speed for 15 knots of wind. So it's all out. I'm on the right foil, so the sea got flatter. And yeah, I can feel the distance between Yannick and me shrinking. So I hope that will keep going like this as long as possible. But yeah, it's not gonna be a straight line from here on. But yeah, there's an opportunity, so you know I'm on it.
That was one of my questions. I guess in the design. Brief must be such a big challenge to design a boat to be able to push it as hard. And I was wondering how much were you able to push the boat compared to what you've been pushing in the testing before in the Southern Ocean and in the Pacific. And I guess now what you are saying tell me that in the Atlantic the water is a little bit flatter and you're allowed to push the boat harder now.
It's a lot related to the wind stability. If you have a very gusty day, then you cannot as much sail as you would have if the wind was as the average wind speed would be, and also the sea state is one of the biggest factors. The sea state was the biggest problem in the Southern Ocean. Yeah, we in the Indian Ocean and part of the Pacific we could not push at all because the sea state was not, didn't permit it. So and even yesterday, I was just under my speed polar because I was sailing towards a 2-meter seaway. Yeah, when I was reaching speed of about 20 knots, the slamming was too big. So yeah, like the sea state is definitely a big factor. And yeah, obviously you push a bit slightly less harder than in the training because you have to. You cannot be on the shift all the time and a full tune all the time, and so you have to be able to let the boat go when you're sitting. So yeah, you open your fuel percent below than what the boat could do. But that's the.
I hope the sea state
between sailing fast and also being able to. Well, yeah, sea state is open. Sea state and wind stability are the biggest criteria that slow us down.
I hope you get flat seas now before the doldrum, so we see you catching up to the red boat quickly, and we have a nice finish to Les Sables. It's going to be a great finish, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. It's gonna be complicated days ahead. First, we're going to feel high pressure. Now it's going to pass next to me and Thomas and me, and then we've got a transition between the trade wind and this high pressure, which is really complicated with a big area of no wind. And that's changing all the time on the grid cars, and yeah, it's gonna be a tough system to tackle. But I see it as an opportunity to catch up. So hopefully it will go okay for me.
I'm sure it's a big opportunity for you and Ruyant. I'm sure it's better to have that than a straightforward finish to Les Sables for sure. Good to hear that, and yes, fantastic Southern Ocean part. How is your board system is working fine? Can you push the boat? Your board system that you have the problem there in the Indian Ocean is totally repaired?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your question.
If your board system is totally repaired, is fully functioning, or is
well, on starboard, I've got a foil problem. So I've got a foil bearing which is missing. So I made one out of carbon when I lost it, but I cannot really use the foil deploying the foil. So on starboard, I'm slower than what I could be. So it's gonna be a bit problematic on the long starboard. We will have from Recife to Cape Verde. So I will do my best to push the boat as hard as I can, even though the foil won't be fully functional.
Okay, listen, Charlie, thank you so much for joining us. Now listen, once you've finished the Vendée Globe and once Santi has won another Olympic medal, I'd really love you guys to connect, and maybe you can take Santi for a sail one day.
well, that would be a great honor for me to have him on board. So I wish him luck on his future campaign, and yeah, I'm sure he could find ideas to make Aprilia even faster. So yeah, I will be an honor to have him on board.
Perfect.
It will be an honor, 100% honor for me. Francois invited me to his trimaran a couple of times, but I was too busy, trying to be well prepared for Tokyo. So getting ready. The Tokyo Games are less than 200 days. So we need to push hard. But after that, I will take a break. I am sure I will take your invitation, Charlie. I will get there, sure.
Perfect. Thank you, Charlie. All the best, and we'll speak in a few days.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Have a good day. Bye. Great talking to you too. Bye.
So there you go, Santi. Charlie Dallin, a fellow naval architect as well, and using his Figaro skills in this ascent up the South Atlantic. So, Santi, you remember Francois Gabard from the Tornado days?
Yes.
Was he good?
Yes, he was a really good crew. All the French team nowadays, the Tornado French team nowadays, in outstanding offshore sailors. You have Javier Reville, Pascal, Francois Gavard, Jean Guillard, Lepetrec, that was from the old days. They are all outstanding offshore sailors, and I admire a lot because of that. I wish I could have spent more time offshore, but my career went into the other way, America's Cup or Olympics, and so yeah, what they do there in France with offshore racing is so fantastic and cool, and I follow it as much as I can.
What's your program just now then? You say you're going training in Uruguay in the next few days?
Yeah, we go to Uruguay, and then in February we go to Sardinia to train with Italians and the British, and then hopefully we have Princess Sofia and Years Semaine Olympique Française in April, and then we go to Japan to stay there.
Good. Listen, I'll come back to you in 1 second, Santi. I'm just going to go through the rankings at midday. As we said at the top of the show, Yannick Bestaven leading by 300 miles just now. In terms of distance run in the last 24 hours, Yannick did 249 miles, Charlie Dallin did 404, and Thomas Riong in third did 377. Meantime, Thomas Riong is 28 miles behind Charlie. Charlie has managed to open out a little bit of distance over the last 24 hours. Damien Seguin in fourth. He's 106 miles behind Thomas Riong. Louis Burton is 120 miles behind Damien Seguin. Then it's a little bit closer. Benjamin Dutroux ahead of Jean Le Cam. And Le Cam's in seventh. Giancarlo Podotti in eighth. And now just a few miles, just about 11 or 12 miles between Giancarlo Podotti and Boris Herrmann. Boris Herrmann catching up. In terms of days run, well, Giancarlo Podotti did 218 and Boris Herrmann did 241. Moving down the table in terms of our internationals, well, Alan Rura, as I said, he's approaching Cape Horn, still got 600 or 700 miles to go. He's in 15th, so we should see them coming round probably Monday afternoon perhaps. Arnaud Boissier in 16th and Pip here in 17th. Pip is doing 14 knots this morning. Then Didac Costa in 20th, steady at 10.3 knots. Kojiro Shiraishi doing 15 knots and is about 150 miles behind Didac. And then on the third page, Miranda Merrin, we spoke with her, she's in the show later, 15.4 knots, going really nicely just now. She's had a big storm through the last 24 hours and is out of that. And Ari Husela, our Finnish airline pilot, in 26th, doing 10.9 knots. So let's go back to Santi. Santi, I was reading a little article that was all about you. You're saying that you quite enjoy the isolation at times and being alone. A little bit of introspection is good for you.
Yes, for sure. Yes, that's the good thing of our sport, that many times we are in the sea alone training, and I really like it. I really like it. You
think you could do 62 days alone?
No. Well, I I
I
I don't know
suspect you
if
could.
that. I think I could. I don't think I am capable of what these guys do. You know, to be such a complete sailor, to understand the mechanics of the boat, to repair it, to be so tough. I don't think I am as tough as these guys, not even close. So that's why I kind of jealous of them because they are such a tough guys and they know the sport in and out and I think it's such a it's something we really need to promote the sport because it's simple, it's adventure. We will catch more people just because the fact that going around the world and it's an adventure more than sailing as well. So
Indeed,
I
I mean, I
find
think,
it
Santi, this
fascinating.
particular Vendée Globe, with the increased social media following because of the lockdown all around the world, I mean, everybody in sailing's watching it, and a much, much wider audience, I think, for the Vendée Globe with characters like Pip Hare doing so much to bring it closer to people.
Yes, exactly that. You know, I think the more the communications and we can speak like now, it's incredible for me. I have an incredible feeling to be able to speak with Charlie after 61 days on the offshore in the sea, and you know, it's fascinating. And I think this is a good promotion to our incredible sport.
Now, listen, I've got a couple of internet questions for you. These are from some of our followers. The first one is all about what is it that inspires you? What in sailing do you find most inspiring and positive from the sport itself?
What I really love is that every day is different for us. You know, every day you go out in the water and you find something new. You know, and it's so difficult, and it's you know, it's the feeling of having a new challenge every day. I think is very inspiring, and then it's a sport that gives you opportunity to keep going and keep doing it for as long as I am doing it now, with close to be 60 and still be able to go to the games. Because of that reason, I think it motivated the change on the boats, the change on the weather all the time. Every day the sea is different. It's no day that is exactly the same as before. And so the trainings and the way you learn are very challenging and really positive. You know, really motivate me to learn.
Interesting. I mean, I understand that you still plan for every following day. You write yourself a list of what has to be achieved, and that list is never ending.
Of course, and especially now with these foiling boats, you know, we are learning something new, and this is very unique of our sport. You know, the tennis players every day is exactly the same for so many years, and us, you know, my first Olympic campaign was in a soling, and then a laser, and then now it's in a foiling catamaran, and so this allows me to learn and to have so much to learn. The foiling is so fascinating. It's a totally different sensation. I believe it gets you as a better sailor because you have to be so anticipation so much in what the wind and the waves are going to do. And Charlie expressed it very well that for them the biggest challenge is the wind speed difference, you know, apart from the waves. And so all these, you know, at this stage you still have a lot to learn, and this is interesting.
Indeed. I mean, I think one of your quotes we could maybe look at just now from the same article you talked about, isolation and motivation. Nothing is ever written in stone in sailing or indeed in life.
Yes, I think sailing have a lot to do with life. You know, I think every sportman do say very similar thing, but ours, we have such a big impact with the nature. Our playground is the nature, and nature teaches us a lot. And you have to accept external forces and external things that happen to you, and you learn to accept that, and that's very related to life. No, obviously, you know, and we are used to be related. You know, suddenly you are the best one in light winds, and then tomorrow you have to define the medal in strong breeze or whatever. You know, Charlie now is fighting and Verstappen is waiting for steady conditions from here to the Sable, and suddenly he will be stuck in the doldrums, and then suddenly we as fans will see an incredible finish to Le Sable, you know, And this is you really learn to accept the conditions that are coming from outside yourself and deal with it. And I think this is an incredible lesson for life.
And you find the whole thing motivating?
Yes, of course. Yes. So you wake every morning and you don't know what you're going to get, and that's this is cool.
It is.
This is why we would want to make us feel alive.
Indeed. We're going to have a look at Yannick Verstappen. He's got a 300-mile lead just now. He's having to suffer the problems of watching that shrink, watching the boats behind, but he's in nice sunshine.
Et voilà, on fait tout sécher à la porte de Maître Coq. Et ben ça fait du bien de sécher les bottes, les cirés, tout qui sèche. Et le bonhomme sèche aussi. Et content d'avoir pris le spi quand même. Hein. Content de l'avoir pris, ça fait 5 fois que je le sors le spi et il m'est bien utile. Et c'est dur, hein. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de vent et j'ai 400 000 d'avance et je pense que ça va revenir par derrière. Enfin, ça me fait chier cette météo depuis le début, on a un temps pas possible. On est bien en mer, hein, c'est sûr. Hein. Avec du soleil comme ça, on est mieux là. Hein. Mais bon. Il y a une semaine, on se faisait bastonner, on avait froid. Comme quoi la météo elle change vite. Et là ça y est, c'est l'été. Yoho, c'est l'été. Bye bye.
So there we go, Yannick Verstappen on board the red and white Maître Coq. So Santi, tell us your thoughts on the likelihood of the games happening or not happening, or is that something that concerns you on a day-to-day basis, or you just keep your focus?
No, something I don't even read the titles.
Yeah.
I don't care. We need to be focused. We cannot take the risk of rest any minute. We need to keep fighting and don't worry about it. And if it happens, it happens. At the moment we are fully focused for sure. It's less than 200 days for the games, and the competition is tough, and we need a lot to learn, and so we need to keep pushing.
Now listen, Jean Le Cam at 61, lying in the top 5, top 6 of the race. That's extraordinary, isn't it? And a great inspiration for us all.
Absolutely. No, from the very beginning of the race, every time there was a split, he was in the right side. It's unbelievable the experience and how he's pushing an old boat, because he's 61, but the boat is from 2000, is that right, or something like that?
2008.
2008. So it's unbelievable what he's achieving. I follow the leaders, I follow the race, and immediately I go to Jan to see how he's doing and see every split he had been doing along the race, and every time he gains. So it's really congratulations to him.
I feel duty bound to ask though, does it get harder as you get older, or is it just a matter of bringing the experience to bear?
Yeah, for sure. At least for me, it's harder. I feel like I cannot, like today, it's very hard for me to go to the gym and then go pushing hard on the boat. So I need to find a good balance of where to spend my energy. Sleeping and resting is an important part of our Olympic campaign. It's critical. But then on the other side, you have to use your experience in your favor. And for sure, this is a sport that experience counts. So yeah, we have to play with that.
Now listen, Santi, one person on the race course who I think I can identify certain mental similarities with yourself is Kojiro Shiraishi, our Japanese skipper. He's always super zen, super calm, tranquilo as you say, and this is Koji today.
1月の8日です、今日は大変荒れてます。これから12時間ぐらいはね、もっと荒れると思います。 だいたい今35から40ノット、波高がやっぱり5、6メーターありますね。でメインセールも結構メインセールもね疲れてきて、もう伸び伸びです。結構もう温存して、セールを温存して持たせなきゃいけませんね。レサーブルまで帰んなきゃいけないので、とにかくちっちゃめのセールで走っていきたいと思います。J2 もメインもね大切にいきたいと思います。今あんまりスピード上げてません。大切にね、本岬をかわしたいと思います。以上です。
Kojiro Shiraishi there on board DMJ Morai 1. Santi, you've spent a lot of time in Japan now. Anything you've brought from the Japanese culture to your mindset that you particularly embrace?
Well, it was a big motivation for me when we decided to go forward with the Olympic campaign, that the fact that it was in Japan. You know, we always like to learn about the culture, and we like to spend a lot of time there to know the seas and the wind, and also to understand the culture. And obviously, the fact that we come from Rio now to Japan and the culture is unbelievable. They are different, and so it's hard to understand. So sometimes it's hard to talk to them and spend time understanding what they think and how they operate. And we are learning a lot there for sure. The respect I would take with me, the respect for everything, for the other person, for everything. They are so respectful. That is really good to see.
Listen, Santi, thank you so much for joining us in your precious time at home. Give my love to all your family and everybody there in Argentina, and hopefully we'll see you in a few months, perhaps in Palma, and in a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, sure. No, thank you all who makes this possible. For me, it's an incredible honor, and I admire these guys in the Vendée Globe, and I admire the race so much. I love the race so much that it's really nice for me to be part of this show. So thank you very much, Andy, for inviting me, and I hope we have a great finish, a safe finish for all the sailors, and yeah, keep pushing this race forward because it's an outstanding race. It's so great.
Thank you, Santi. Have a great day. So there we go, Santiago Lange, one of sailing's big legends of these ages, joining us at home in Argentina. So that's all the time we have today for our Vendée Globe Live. Tomorrow we will have Geoff Brown, the boat captain of Medallia, of Pip Hare's boat. Geoff has done, I think, Vendée Globe since 2004. Hugely experienced. Any questions for him or indeed anybody else involved with the Vendée Globe English side, then do post them on our Facebook channel, on Twitter or on Instagram. And we'll see you tomorrow.